好，那2025艺兴国小双语观益课活动开始。那首先呢，我们请我们的邱正刚校长致欢迎词以及介绍贵宾。
教授同校，还有各位推手老师哈，还有各位与会的双语课程的推动的校长老师，大家早安。我想非常欢迎大家来艺兴国小。那艺兴国小在推动双语教育呢，这个我是初阶、高阶的在这边。啊，第一的思路呢是这个陈浩明教授一路带着我们成长。所以我觉得今天的观益课是在于一个交流，在于一个互相的学习。那么怎么样把双语教育能够推展、能够落实？其实有很多前辈校长花了很多的心血在努力。他们期待到台湾的双语教育，除了把双语学好，更能走向国际化，推展国际交流。这个可能是我们未来重要的目标。那利用这个机会呢，我要向各位介绍今天与会的贵宾啊。首先当然是我们的指导教授啊，陈超明教授。好，那再来是我们的龙胜国小的校长，是我们双语办公室的主任王立峰校长。好，再来是我们的几位与会啊，在百忙中还抽空来参与的一位校长。首先是武轩国小林景信林校长，天地国小邱冠章邱校长，快乐国小叶家旺叶校长，再来呢是我们的推手老师啊，我们的黄成文主任，我们的彭佩文。还有我们的徐秀慈老师。好，那目前担任这个司仪的是我们的教主任啊，于碧龙于主任。那再一次，今天的这个公开课都是由于碧龙于主任啊，我们的双语办公室的老师啊一手的策划。那么再一次欢迎大家，谢谢。那我们也是邀请教授来给我们指导，好，掌声欢迎。好，那当然呢，我们还是要邀请我们的双语办公室的主任洪丽萍洪校长来给我们指导。
教授很客气哦，他说要马上开始。那我想在今天观课之前呢，先再一次来谢谢我们邱校长率领的艺兴团队，很早就开始动起来了。碧荣主任在我107年吧。在艺兴的时候，他是我的第1年的教育，所以论起这个双语，其实毕业主任也是非常的熟稔。其实这7年来，其实我们的外师从当年的全市啊，我想只有5个，扩增到现在有72位啊。其实这个业务的庞大量远远超过很多人的想象，包括我们双语办公室要服务的外师啊、中师，这一些种种，如果有一点点的成果，都来自于各位 foreign teacher， 还有我们双语创新学校的亮点，学校的校长主任、老师们在第一线的来的都是作为啊。我们今年的双语观益课，7个学校即将已经过半，从1月份开始。就举行会开始进行双语亮点学校的观益课，每年呢，今年要高达50几场。其实我们心里面的压力都颇大。昨天在双语办公室集合了我们的外管跟双办的人员，就为了下个学期我们高达50场的观益课，已经做各项的准备。所以我在想。教育局非常的支持，各位今天能够坐在这里，教育局都是用公价排贷。公价排贷的意思就是，如果你没有课， 果你有课，你的课务是由教育局来买单的。所以我想这一个的种种都代表局里面对大家的支持。那还是预祝我们今天的观音课会非常顺利的圆满。我常常还是讲这句话，我们用开放的心 ，open mind， 用善意的眼光，用专业的角度，希望今天有任何的一句话、一个想象、一个教学的设计、一个活动的作为，能够触发我们，让我们双语这条路越走越好，迎向国际，让我们的孩子站上国际的舞台。谢谢大家。
好，那我们接下来，
接下来我们要到双语学校推动行政报告的时间。Bilingual promotion of administrative briefings. Let's welcome Director Yu.
那我们先请这边前面的嘉宾来移到沙发区，好吗？这样子看报告的话会比较方便一点。
我们两个会先建议先给外师跟今天授课老师先说课，好，说完课之后他们可以先去准备，这样要不要？好，可以。好，
那我们就是确定一下我们的一个整个状况哈。那我们先把它说起来。那接下来呢，我们就是先做一个课程的一个说明哈。那我们
So first, let's welcome teacher Samantha to do her lesson introduction.
Hello everyone, good morning.
Good morning.
I am teacher Samantha, but most of my students call me teacher Sam. Well, it's very obvious I'm very nervous today. Please bear with me. So I will be teaching first grade, class 101, under the subject Life Education. So here is my topic. Let's be safe on the road. So I do have two main objectives. First objective, students will be able to distinguish between safe and unsafe behaviors on the road. So I will be presenting a set of pictures where they will try to identify if the picture shows safe behaviors or if it's unsafe. So the second objective is students will be able to create a headband. Well, this headband showcases a safety-first headband. So in the first part, they are given a worksheet and they try to identify if the pictures are safe, if the pictures are unsafe. So they try to color the check mark if it's safe and color the X mark if it's unsafe. And then they try to assemble it and make it a headband. Well, it's a Super Mario headband, so they can roam around the classroom wearing that. So the flow of my lesson, it starts with a warm-up activity. This is a spot the difference activity where they are given two pictures. They try to circle what is not the same. And later on, I will try to point the ones they circled and try to ask, is this safe? Is this unsafe? So they just say yes or no. So later on, I do have, after the warm-up activity, we will proceed with the headband. And after the headband activity, we will have the word wall activity as well for checking of attendance. So for students' prior knowledge, we already learned about what is safe and unsafe means. So they know these two concepts already. They know that when it's safe, it means they don't get hurt. And when it's unsafe, they get hurt. It's ouch. So we also learned about what is safe, how to stay safe at school and outdoors. So for learning profile, the students, 1/3 of them can express themselves in English very well. So these are fast learners. But of course, most of the students in the class are still slow learners. So how do I cater all of these learners? I group them into teams. So it's a mixed ability team. Therefore, the fast learners will act as helpers to those slow learners. So the slow learners will try to answer the question, where the fast learners will provide the answers as well. So it's thank you, teachers.
Thank you, Samantha. And now let's welcome Teacher Grayson to introduce his live lesson.
Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm Teacher Grayson. I will be working with class 2 of second grade today, life class. The title of the lesson today is Paper Airplanes and Wind. The objectives of this lesson are pretty straightforward. It's that students will be able to understand that wind can have effects on different things. In this case, we'll be using paper airplanes, so students can see when you throw a paper airplane, it flies on its own. When you throw a paper airplane and there's wind involved, how does it fly? What changes? Hopefully, the weather will behave and we'll get some gusts of wind while we do this lesson. Students will also be introduced to the idea of scientific experiments, which is something that will carry on into the units about trees and the units about bubbles going on in the life curriculum. Prior knowledge, students have already discussed that and come up with their own explanations of how you can hear the wind and you can feel the wind, but otherwise, it's not something we can see, it's not something we can taste, it's not something we can smell, but you might be able to see, smell, or taste things in the wind. Students have also practiced folding different paper shapes, origami, so they are ready to very quickly fold paper airplanes. And students have learned simple English words about the wind. Can it be strong? Can it be weak? Can it blow hard? Can it blow softly? Etc. As far as the students learning from us, most of the students in this class understand basic English. Even the ones who are very shy, if you talk slowly, I have learned that they will still understand. However, they are also positioned in mixed groups where students that excel in English already can help translate and help them understand what is the instructions that we are doing today. The flow of the lesson today is, again, very straightforward. We will start with brief, hey, this is class beginning, what are we talking about? Talking about wind, what have we been doing? We've been learning about wind and paper. We will start with a very quick craft. We have been practicing different things. They have not made these planes yet, but we will be practicing how quickly can we fold that airplane. And then we'll be running a science experiment, throwing the paper airplane and counting the squares on the floor to measure how far does the plane go. As time allows, we will also throw it the other direction and see if that affects, the wind affects which way the plane goes, how far it goes. Normally my class is 80 minutes, so I have planned a lot just in case we can keep going in the time allows. Thank you.
And let's welcome Teacher Ling to introduce his third grade science class. Thank you.
Morning everyone, I'm Teacher Ling. I teach the grade 3 science class, and today's lesson is for air Texas space. First, I will talk about the learning objectives. Number 1, students will be able to observe the experiments. We will do 2 experiments today. And the second, students will be cooperate with teammates, use the tool safely. The third one, students will be able to compare the predictions and the results. And also, they need to explain air Texas space in simple English. Next one is the student's prior knowledge. In the previous lesson, the students have tried to put the plastic bag with air into the water. And when the air comes out, they saw bubbles coming out. So they know that air is everywhere because they use the plastic bag to catch the air. And next one is students' learning profile. Most of the students enjoy learning by making hands-on activities, and they are curious. So most of the students can share their ideas in simple English, while about 30% of them they need teachers' guidance to say in the whole sentence. And that's why I will talk about the learning lesson plan. First, I will start with a question. Is there air in an empty cup? And because we can see the air, so we are not sure. We need to do two activities. The first activity is the paper ball weight. I will show them first, and then we'll predict first. And after this, we will observe the experiments. So what we are going to do is that we'll put the paper ball at the bottom of the cup and turn upside down, push into the water. And when it takes out, you will see the paper is dry. So they know that there is air in the cup. Air takes up space. And the second experiment does the ping pong ball go down. I will show them first, and then they will do the experiment. Okay, so first they will put the ping pong ball on the water and cover it with a cup and push into the water. And when they push into the water, they will see the ping pong ball goes down. So it shows that there is air in the cup, and air pushes the ball down. So after the experiment, we will do the worksheet part. And about the final part of the worksheet, they will finish at the next lesson, so not today. And after these two experiments, they know that air takes up space. There is air in the cup. So this is the key point. Thank you.
Let's welcome teacher Mandy to introduce her 5th grade science.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mandy, and for my class, this is for grade 6, and the subject is science. And the objectives are: number 1, students can make and compare electromagnets with different materials under the teacher's guidance. And number 2, students can understand the relationship between the number of batteries and the strength of magnetism. And about students' prior knowledge, they know magnetic and non-magnetic objects. And 2, they understand that magnets attract iron. And picking up more paper clips means stronger magnetism. And 3, they have some basic experience using simple circuits like battery, wire, or light bulb. And about students' learning profile, there are some high proficiency students, and they have quick comprehension and have active oral participation. But for lower learner students, I will try to schedule them through multimodal support, like read area, visual aid, guided questions, or even some key Chinese words. And then group collaboration is suggested to promote peer support and ensure equal participation. And for my teaching procedures, first one, I will have a quick review for magnetic or non-magnetic objects. And then I will tell the class the materials we are going to use, and students will do the experiment. And we will have a follow-up discussion about the experiment. And then we'll wrap up with some key words. And then students will complete true or false questions to wrap up the topic electromagnet. And that's my class introduction. Thank you.
好，那以上是我们各位的今天的一心国小的一个观益课的一个老师。那我们就是我们请这4位老师先到个别的一个教室先做准备，可以吗？好，那请你们可以先离开。好，好， 好，那接下来呢，我们就回到有关于双语学校的一个推行行政的一个报告。
Bilingual promotion of administrative greetings. Let's welcome Director Yu.
教授、各位校长、主任以及老师大家早安。那我是一心国小的教务主任吕碧荣。那今天很开心有这个机会呢，然后跟大家能够进行一个双语的一个推动行政的一个报告。那当然，我们今天能够站在这里，一定是一个很伟大的人让我们站在他的肩膀上。那这个就是我们的冯丽校长。好，那我是开始进行我的简报部分那我们整个一个一心国小整个创新教学的一个课程计划我们从计划的一个目标开始。当然，我们是呼应了2030年整个我们整个台湾双语的一个政策的发展，希望英语能够成为一个沟通的一个语言。那当然，我们一心国小呢，也在加强另外一个语言叫做程式语，能够让它能够智慧的去做接轨。那我们提供的是一个体验式的一个学习，让孩子能够自主的学习跟沟通以及表达。那再来呢，我们希望能够跟世界接轨，所以会有一个国际的交流，跟孩子具有一个全球的一个视野的部分。那学校的愿景的部分，就是也呼应了我们的目标那所以说基本上也是跟国际视野、世界公民的部分有关。那孩子的部分，我们希望他能够身心的一个有所发展，然后能够多元的一个能力。那希望一心也能成为一个学习型的一个优质的学校。那老师的部分呢？那我们激励教学，希望他能够专业的一个自主。那我们也整合了整个资源整合跟发展我们自己校本的一个特色。那在我们的主轴的内涵里面呢，我们真的是这7年来致力于英语的一个教学，能够融入到领域的学习，还有生活的情境当中。那这个部分呢，我们最重要是要让孩子发挥他潜能，能够有一个很好的一个应用的英语的能力那重在沟通，然后重在日常的一个生活情境里面。那我们用多元的生活化的一个情境给孩子规划多元的一些活动。那重点在于沉浸式的一个语言环境那其实推了这7年，我最有感的是孩子还有老师他的一个学习英语的兴趣，他兴趣是产生的，是有的。那这其实是最珍贵的然后实施我们双语的一个创新课程，来发展整个学校的一个特色。那我们学校发展双语的一个创新教学的历史，就像如同刚刚冯校长讲的，我们从107学年度就开始积极的去转型。然后我们有受到那个教育局所颁发给我们桃园市双语创新学校这样的一个品牌那我们现在目前有40个班，然后学生人数有1200多人。那我们整个行政人员的部分是邱校长带领着最主要是我们的教务处以及双语办公室的部分。那我们双语的一个教师的部分有总共13位13位。但是我们全校协同教学的教师多达41位，然后还有就是你刚才看到的外师，我们有5位，所以其实整个一个双语教学创新的一个团队多达60几人多达60几人。那我们就是整个课程的一个理念呢从以新的一个 life 的一个4个项目理念来去做呼应包括 love， 包括 implementation， 包括 fantastic and e-learning 的部分。那最重要的是，其实我们一个课程要把它整个一个大的一个完整性需要架构需要有所架构。那我们当然有一个愿景跟目标，我们希望能够孩子呢能够达到一个 CEFR A2 的一个英语的一个能力。然后因此呢，会设计了低、中、高3个比较细一点而且具体一点的一个课程的一个目标。那我们是成其ENI 的一个模组，是你的英语语文的一个技能呢，它是沉浸式的一个学习然后它是熟悉学科的一个单元的词汇， 然后同时呢，也跟课堂的英语去能够做沟通。再来就是关于能力技能的部分呢，我们是跨领域的一个学习哦，包括国际的一个多元的理解跟核心的一个内容。那整个我们的课程地图的设计呢，是以小小的一个探险家作为中心核心，然后结合了8个包括教育或是议题在里面，然后从小1一直到小6，都有相关性的一个规划。再来，我相信大家比较想知道的就是说，那到底你们的低、中、高到底是跟谁跨领域去做一个双语的一个教学呢？我们在低年级的部分第一个韩式英语，然后第二个是我们的生活课程，然后第3个是我们的数学，我们数学是有抽一堂出来做双语的一个上课的，然后其实是蛮成功的那再是有关于资讯的部分。那中年级的部分，我们还加进去了有关于译文的部分然后还有自然的部分，还有我们就是基本上这些。然后到高年级的话，我们还把晨读，也就是英语的一个阅读，我们把它加进来。事实上，这个图我们还有资讯课2节的资讯课然后有去做一个双语的授课。好，那我们的教材使用国外的教材。是用那个Everybody Up， 然后适用1年级到6年级，都适用这一套的一个教材。那我们会结合我们的本土的自然的领域课本，然后也会就是鼓励孩子到 Core English 的平台上去然后我们也有采购一个 Rescue 专门去做阅读的一个国外的网站部分。那其实很珍贵的地方是在于一个教学的模组，它是非常的多元的它包括了我们中外师的一个协同备课然后也包括了外师是独立授课的我们有3位外师来到一心长达快5年了，然后在这整个过程当中，我们发现他们是能力非常好，然后掌控班级非常好，所以我们安排独立授课的部分。然后再是中师跨领域的一个独立的授课，还有英语教师跟领域的一个协同，还有外师跟领域老师的一个协同。那很多的时间是绕在外师跟导师的一个协同。好，那我们整个行政端的部分呢，怎么样去推动这个双语的一个创新呢？首先，我们成立一个双语部，然后呢，我们会设一个主任。其实他比较类似像组长，但是我们都尊称他是主任那我们是1人在双语办公室，然后也会定期的开双语的一个会议，那有双语的一个教材跟社团，还有营造整个双语的情境。那这是我们就是王校长这边很大力推广的，就是我们的国际连结然后缔结姐妹校跟参访然后再就是我们会扩大它的媒体的一个效用，就是有一个就是 FB， 还有我们自己一心有官方的网站包括我们现在直播也就是上到我们一心的官方网站上面去了然后还有 YouTube 之类的。好，那我们真正的一心国小，那推了7年的特色是什么？首先就是我们刚才讲的，低年级有8节双语课，中年级有9节的双语课，高年级有11节的双语课程，所以1/3是用双语授课。然后再来跨领域的一个教学，待会你们也会看到我们有今天有跨自然领域的一个教学。那 STEAM 跟 Maker 是我们在希望资讯融入的部分加进去。那再来数位的阅读，那我们包括电子书还有 Kid 的推广，我们都在做。然后在 AI 科技的一个辅助，那就是我们经过法长的一个努力，我们拥有比较多的一个 AR 跟VR 部分的一个设备跟资源然后再推广双语的一个营队的一个活动，还有整个国际的教育。好，那在我们课室里头呢，我们到底怎么做呢？首先，我们的核心就是请你在生活当中学请你在生活当中学，也要会未来教部分。那当然，我们就把它整合的整个资讯的一个资源，真的是做中学做中学。那我们也结合节气，譬如说，让 Halloween 我们玩的很大Halloween， 然后圣诞节，然后我们参与活动，然后进行的一个 在课堂上，我们先做一个 Halloween 或是耶诞节的一个融入，然后之后呢，我们再结合活动，让它形成一个认识多元文化的部分。那再来就是我们团队就是定期会去做一个研发的课程啊。那寒暑假一定会有营队，那让孩子能够乐在学习，那以及跨领域的一个多元的一个让他能够有一个发展哈。在我们最后这边的是我们的设的一个叫做英语加速器的学院哈，然后它有2个，就是我们希望能够拔尖于扶弱。那在英语的魔法屋的部分呢，我们就是让英文老师去面对不同的一个阶段的成能力的小孩去做一个辅助。好，那我们有创意的一个学习的课程哈，包括有我们的绘本、戏剧，然后也有科技的互动哈，然后游戏小高手等等的这个设计。那其实历年推来社团这样子的社团的参与的人数越来越多。好，那以上这边就是我的报告，但是在结束前，我真的要很真心的就是举出来，就是我们一心国小创新教学7年，这7年来，就是有一位很重要的人帮我们手把手，带着我们一起成长大。我们可不可以请大家借大家热烈的掌声，我们来谢谢陈昌平教授。他是从我们这第1年，我们真的什么都不会，他就是这样子慢慢帮我们带着我们，然后就说我们先做一些双语的一个认知，然后去训练然后一路的帮我们拉拔长大到今天我们要继续长那我们更感谢的是奉献了7年的青春的冯校长。冯丽仪校长也借我们的双手，感谢他一下。好，谢谢。那其实呢，就是一个完整的一个课程计划然后再结合我们一群的一个教育的优质跟专业的教育团队，那其实就是提供给孩子一个多元的学习，叫探索叫教育探索。然后这样的一个历程之后呢，我们让他的英语能够有应用能力，那就是我们一心国小双语创新课程的一个实践最后的一个实践。那我不免俗的最后出个口号：一心永葆初心。谢谢大家，这是我的报告。那校长这边有要说话吗？
好，谢谢毕荣主任。那我想每个学校都有特色刚一开始向各位说明，今天我们是互相去做交流，互相学习。它是一种模式，但是不代表它是一个绝对的模式每个学校都可以做出自己的特色。都市中的学校，都市中学校做。像这个比较郊区的学校，结合自然科技，结合大自然环境，也做出更多不同类型的一些双语课程，我想都是特色那待会呢，我们就要进行我们的这个观课我们就依照我们教务处的安排，总共分成 A、B、C、D 4组。那待会我们会有工作人员引导各位到这个教室去，跟准备。
那我们今天的时间是比较充足一点，因为我们学校是10点半才上课那我们现在就是我们先对一下时间。第一个就是我们给大家需要休息或上洗手间的伙伴吗？有那我再管理介绍一下，就是请各位贵宾再稍微等待一下。那我们原则上是待会先让大家有需求的人先上一下，因为待会观课就是1节课了。那请大家在10点大概就是将近快15分的时间，请回到这里然后请你看一下你的名牌你的名牌有颜色然后还有 A、B、C、D 的一个 group 的一个表示那待会回到这里之后，然后我们就是会请 B 组的伙伴先起立然后先带你们去，因为 6年级比较高，我们请你们先走。然后还有就是因为会面临到下课的一个时间哈，那所以你们走的过程当中也请小心一下哈，因为小朋友可能就是会蛮活泼的哈。好，那我们有要上厕所的，现在先到楼上，然后就是上了1楼啊，面对。
好，那各位，我们的厕所在1楼啊，所以现在大家拜托是休息一下，行动，然后10点15分回来，谢谢。
elementary school. I watched Samantha's class just now, and I thought it was really, really good. I thought your body language was great, and the way you talk to the students was amazing. And I also really loved your Super Mario theme. And I could tell that the students also really enjoyed it. They were literally jumping out of their seats to participate, like so happy just to try the activities. Yeah, I just thought it was really great, and I loved your theme, your English, and your simple English instructions were great, and the kids just loved it. So I think I can learn a lot from watching your class.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's good. To talk about what you can learn from today's class. This is a wonderful morning. We learn a lot from school teachers, right? So we highlight some of the wonderful points and watching or to discuss. Okay, let's go to Teachable and let's see. Okay. You know, it's okay. Anyone from your school, you can just ask any teacher.
Hi, I'm Betty from Tsinghua Elementary School. I watched the teacher Mandy's class for 6th graders, science class. And I like the teachers' PPT is so clear. And for example, she's teaching the word in electromagnets. And they use a picture and also the to divide it into part electro and magnets. So I think kids can easily to learn a new term. And she used her body language very much and tweets. She will say, "Agree with me, tweets," and 3 times. It's so clear. And kids, I can feel that they feel safe to share in either English or Chinese. And they are both accepted in the class. So I think it's good for the slow learners. And teacher, she did lots of understanding check and scaffolding. For example, each student, they have their role, and the teacher will invite them to do a demo before each group starts. And thank you for the
Maybe.
Hi, I'm Danielle. I'm from New Elementary School. I'm a teacher in Mandy's class, and I just want to say congratulations. It was a very good class. I enjoyed it a lot. I want to say that we have great classroom management. The students participated very well. They knew what to do. They followed instructions, and overall it was amazing, especially for a grade 6 class. And the subject, like electromagnetic where it's very exciting for the students to do the experiment. You did a very great job. I would say that giving more time to do the experiment would be a great idea. 5 minutes was a little short. But overall, overall, it was great. It was a really good lesson. And thank you. I learned a lot. So, congratulations.
Teacher from
Hello. Hi, so my name is Lisa from Dhaka Elementary School, and I observed teacher Grace in class, the grade 2 class, on wind, and I think that class, the lesson went really well, and it was really engaging for the students. I really liked that you had the students actually make airplanes and experiment and have them observe the result of the experiment, and then basically have the students analyze like what happened, what did they observe from the result, and about how the wind affected the movement and the distance that was flown from the airplane, which was really good. It was engaging for the students and they really enjoyed it. And I really also liked how you had the students who were faster at, for example, making the airplanes to help each other. And I could tell that the classroom environment was really warm and welcoming and very encouraging for the students. And oh, and yes, one suggestion also that I had was I could tell that like the why question on the reasoning why. Okay, you had the question about what would be a normal distance for the plane to travel, and you had a follow-up question on why the students chose their answer, and it was a little difficult for them to answer that question. So I was thinking maybe you could have had like options for them to choose so that they could have a choice in what to answer. But yeah, overall, it was a really well planned lesson. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the one of my favorite. Whenever you are doing bar movies, there's two challenges to students. And the question is sometimes the options. Or easy or student as possible. Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Freedom. Someone is
Good morning, everybody. I observed teacher Samantha's class. I'm from Shanfong Elementary School. First of all, teacher Samantha, congratulations. You did a really great job in your class. I really enjoyed it. I loved how you reminded the students of class rules and how you have a Super Mario theme for the entire lesson. It made learning easy and students to see it displaying. How you use body language, appropriate facial expressions, easy to follow instructions. Your talking speed is not too fast and not too slow either. So students can really understand it very easily. You use pictures and videos that show real-life scenarios about road safety. And I also want to commend your interaction with the local teacher, the way you both handled the games, the reward system, and the headband making activity. You have really great harmony in the class. It made the whole lesson feel light and natural. And it was nice to see everyone so engaged. And if it helps, maybe next time you could try to read the picture book made by Gemini AI yourself. Because I think Gemini AI narration is a little bit too fast. So this way, the students can observe the picture book more. And maybe just a tiny reminder to watch the time a bit more, since we didn't get to see what happened with the top star group at the end. I think that would have wrapped things up even more nicely. But everything already felt smooth and enjoyable. Great job today, Teacher Samantha. Really well done. It was really nice to observe your class. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Lauren from Shanghai Elementary School, and I observed Teacher Mega's class. So I think that is a wonderful class for me. There are many use simple and clear instruction to guide the students. And actually, when I first saw the lesson plan, I was wondering and curious about how it should combine science and English. Because I think science is not an easy section for but I noticed that she kept using the Zen vocabularies and sentences and her gestures to remind the kids what they're learning. I think that is very useful. I do learn a lot from today's class. Thank you to humanity.
教育的心。
好，我真的觉得这是我观察1年级的 Samantha 的那个课，
老师他的那个 body language 真的非常的清楚。那他们这个班有非常好的那个互动，所以他们的班级的那个课室用语啊，就是用这些语言就可以控制这个班级，班级的小朋友的参与度非常的高。那还有就是老师在课堂里面非常的让学生有机会去说他们所学习到的安全不安全语，还有各种颜色。我觉得这是非常成功的一个课啦。那他的协同老师在指导学生的时候也是用英语的部分，然后他们在上课之前呢会念一些英语的绘本啊，然后那个绘本是有点那个像韵文的部分，让小朋友能够充分的用英语来说，所以我觉得这是一个很棒的课程。然后他们最后做的那个学习单也是蛮有趣的，因为这学习单是跟课程有相关，不是只有写一张纸，是做一个头套。那个头套除了可以培养他们的学习的结果，也可以当做一个装饰品。我觉得这个设计蛮好的。那这节课我觉得谢谢大家。
Hello, good morning everyone. I'm from Charlie Goshao. My name is Teacher Larry, and I observed Teacher Lin's class, the third grade science class. It was the first time for me to watch the science class here in Taiwan, so I was amazed with how he handled the class. The students are very smart and they can speak English really well. Although some kids are just, mimicking other kids, but you can see that they understood the teacher's lessons despite the fact that they can't really speak the language or maybe they're just shy. And I think the teacher had a lot of activities to test the experiments well, like the air taking up space. And the kids really understood that the lesson of the air can really take up space. And you can see that the kids are enjoying putting the water or using the cup inside the water and testing everything out. And I would like to congratulate Teacher Lee for doing a great job. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Teacher Hope from Shingo Elementary School. I observed the 6th grade class for Teacher Mandy. I just want to first start by saying that it was an amazing class, and I loved how the students were engaged from the beginning of the class until the end, because sometimes it's very hard to lose concentration throughout the class. But the students were engaged from the beginning until the end, which is really amazing. And I loved how you used so many practical examples and in body language. It was amazing. Because it's a science class and they're still in 6th grade, so when you use a lot of practical examples, it's easier for them to get the content and the concept of the lesson. That was really amazing. I wrote so many impressive lessons throughout my notes. And I loved the fact that you used both languages, Chinese and English, for the keywords. Because even if you forget anything for this lesson, but remember this one keyword. This is what it means. That was really impressive. And I love how you assigned each group, student in the group, you assigned each student some work to do, because students tend to hide behind the other students. So everyone had a job to do there, and that was really amazing. I really enjoyed that. I wrote everyone gets to participate in the group. That was amazing. And I loved how you moved around in the classroom to remind them the first step. I really like that. And I loved how the students were willing to participate and answer your questions. So overall, it was an amazing lesson. I enjoyed it, and I felt like it was new students as well. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
华讯。
Hello, this is Leo from Washington Elementary School, and I observed Teacher Lynn's class. It was in science. I'll just start off with what I liked, because there was quite a bit that I did like. From like the environment, the way the tables and seats were arranged, it kind of encouraged group discussion. So I thought that was quite interesting. And with the way it's arranged, the stronger students could also help with the weaker students. In addition, the worksheets were, I think, pretty well designed. They focused on the targeted language. And in terms of classroom management, it seems like a lot of times not much was needed to be said. The kids kind of just understood like what to do. So that was nice. Let's see what else. I feel like so maybe one little advice would be like if, there was a lot of reading of English, which is good, but maybe it's a little bit unfocused in terms of like the target language. So it might be good to focus on a smaller chunks of words and maybe maybe have more repetition. That way you get like later on if they want to read a whole particular sentence structure, a particular word or whatever, with more repetition it might be a bit easier to do that. So yeah, that's all I have to share.
Great.
Hi, I'm Jason from Richmond, and I saw Teacher Grayson's lesson. I thought the students were really engaged and they obviously enjoyed the lesson. I also teach second grade, so I hope that some of your lesson to my own classroom. So thank you.
Let me see.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sophie. I am from China Elementary School. I was observing Teacher Lee's science class. And first of all, I want to say congratulations to Teacher Lee. A very successful class. One of the first things that I noticed from the get-go is the teacher was really setting up students for success in this lesson by giving them a chance to form a hypothesis based on what they have learned, which was empty space. And she made it clear to the students that there is no right or wrong hypothesis. It's based on what you believe, and the entire lesson was shaped both the students learning if their hypothesis was either correct or it was wrong, based on which was more like having the paper ball in the water, paper ball. And again, she used a great sense of visual on the worksheet. Students could see what the question was all about based on the visual. And she also used great attention reference. It was a very good class. Just two suggestions of the thing that I noticed. When you're giving the instructions on putting the paper on the water jug, you did not show them as to how they should put the paper. Students want to find a certain way of proving the odds. So I wish I could have did that. But overall, it was great and it was entertaining. Thank you very much.
Good morning, I'm Teacher Sid from Zhongli Guoxiang. Nice to meet you. I observed Teacher Samantha's class, and I'm going to be the third person talking about this, and so I just want to say I echo the sentiment of the previous two. I think the class was very fun, very wonderful. I love the rapport and the relationship that Teacher Samantha had both
with the Chinese teacher as well as with the students. I can tell the students are very excited to come to the classroom to speak as much English as possible. In fact, the same students were very excited to talk to us. And one of the things I'll say, I mean, I love the warm-ups. I love how you get the children to, go from a completely Taiwanese environment into a more English-speaking one. With the little storybook or poem, with the dancing, and with some of the chants. I think that's wonderful. And I also love the amount of pantomiming and the gestures and the smile that you actually bring to the classroom, which not only conveys the lesson, but also gives the kids more comfortable to speak as much English as possible. And I guess the only suggestion I have, I think the audiobook or the Gemini book that you used, I thought the audio was a little bit too fast, so I either slow it down or maybe have the kids read it, because it seems like their English is really good. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, good morning. I'm Marjorie, I'm from Xinming Elementary School, and I serve teacher Manny's class. And hi teacher, I really like your class, and one word I would say it was outstanding. And I'm so grateful to be part of that class today. So there are a lot of things that I like about her class, especially her PPT. It was so simple, and she also added just few words and action verbs. And aside from the words, she also did, the students also did the actions, which for me is important for them to remember the lesson or the English vocab they learned today. Aside from that, teacher Manny did experiment in her class about non-magnetic, about the electromagnet class, which for me is difficult if the teacher will not provide easy steps or will not provide easy vocabs. Also, she did 2 separate experiments by using 1 battery and 2 batteries. So if I'm a student, if teacher would only use 1 battery for an experiment, I would be also asking myself, what will happen if I will be using 2 or more? So it was really great that at the end of the lesson, the teacher did 2 batteries experiment as well. And yes, I think that's all for me. Aside from the time management, everything was like outstanding. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm teacher Nora from Ding Elementary School. I observed teacher Grayson, grade 2 class. The theme was wind, which isn't very easy to teach to grade 2 students, but when he conducted his activities, definitely helped the understanding of how wind can affect the movement of objects, especially from inside the classroom and with the wind and against the wind. So that was very well done, and the students really seemed to enjoy it. And very lovely lesson overall. And thank you to your students also. I got a few notes from them, so thank you. And very well done, Teacher Grayson. Thank you.
Okay, hello everybody. I am Dewey from Xinming Elementary School, and I got to observe Teacher Grayson. Teacher Grayson, your lesson was really amazing. I got to enjoy your lesson. Congratulations. It was about the wind, and students got to see how their paper plane fly, the distance of how they get to fly on the wind with no wind into the wind, and they got to compare the different outcomes of how their plane got to fly. Just a small suggestion, I think it would have been more fun if maybe you allow the students to make their own predictions before throwing their plane, and they get to compare
before their own prediction with the outcome. But overall, it was a great lesson. Thank you.
It's most of the students that bring response to is any local teacher, teachers have response feedback on teachers. Any local teacher would like to say something about today's class in Chinese or in Chinese, English. Any local teachers, yes.
Hi everyone. Okay, this is Ella from Songyo Elementary, and I was in a science class taught by a teacher Wendy. And how do I put this? Like, it's a very detailed and thoughtful lesson, and it feels like I'm part of the class. And the teacher used many authentic items to review the concept of magnet, and also the slides are simplified and it's straightforward, so students can easily grasp the concept, which I really like it. And she also offered lots of opportunities for students to participate and also speak up what they have observed. And also before teacher conduct the experiment, teacher reminds students what they are going to do, what's their mission later. So which is like very considerate. And I also noticed that teacher has made a little reminder between she and the student, and it shows the chemistry. So what I can tell is that teacher puts a lot of effort, even though I know science class has a textbook, it has a particular guideline, but you still need to reconstruct the whole concept. So I wish I could have your science class in my chapter. In that way, I might be a scientist instead of an English teacher. Okay, thank you.
Can you let me welcome some of the feedback on the first year's local teacher? Any first year local teacher feedback and what you have learned from today's childhood information? I'm sorry, maybe I had to name somebody here. Unfortunately, you will be on my list. 谢您任主任，那谢个老师，你要不要说一下？
需要打出，不然我们跌入校。
或是我们几位校长愿意跟我们分享，中文说也没关系，英文说都可以。
Okay. In English, but if not, I will speak Chinese. Okay, so first of all, I want to say I'm in class particularly in science class because we all know that this is the first time that bravery students meet the science class. But in the teacher learning class, they not only have great behavior, they also have great engagement. All the students can respond the teacher learning questions and ask questions to teacher learning. And moreover, I'm used to confuse about how to choose the words to context in bilingual science, and this is very difficult. But teacher learning show us how a great model to use the properly slide and sentence and also demo for them to settling them into a simple sentence and use the great worksheets for them to know how the whole concept of the science class. So I think I've learned a lot. Yes, thank you.
有他特别在去的，会。
Hello everyone, I'm Carol from Rainbow, and it's my honor to see Teacher Ling's lesson. And I think Teacher Ling has a good time management, so the whole lesson just ends well. And you prepare additional material to prepare the time harboring. So I think you did a good job, and I think the student in grade 4 in Yixing, they have a high ability to speak English. I can say only 3rd grade they can speak English pretty fluently. So that is what I observed. But I want to ask you a question first. Can I ask you a question that are there any other ways that you will try to help the low achieve student in the future if you have time to teach the lesson again?
Thank you.
Because I think you designed the worksheet pretty well, and the whole lesson really connected with the scientific spirit, because you let them predict and then observe, and then they discuss, and they just try to find out what is the result of the experiment. That is really good. That was really good. And I really love you to deal with the new problem, because I think while the experiment, they found out that if they try to put the people, the cup, like this, not vertically, they will just, the paper ball will get wet. And you try to connect with the higher knowledge and explain that. I think that you did a good job. And I really appreciate that you try to make the experiment step by step, then the process divided into smaller steps to let them to follow. However, I have some suggestion I want to give you, because I think you prepare a nice PowerPoint for them to follow and you demonstrate it well. But I think maybe number 1, they can follow the picture, and then number 2 to the number 5 steps, you just let them read the sentence, and then they have to just try it immediately. And I think high achieved student can just follow it quickly, but low achieved student, they will have no idea what they're gonna do. But you just put it in groups so they can just cooperate well. I think that is some suggestion I will give you. If you can just explain the process more detailedly, more slowly, they will let them to follow more easily. And I think you gave them lots of chances to speak. That is pretty good, because your whole concept is to let them know the air takes up space. I heard a low achieve student, he can use Chinese to say that why there's this, the people will get weight. He said that 因为空气. So I think you just fit the objectives pretty well. I would recommend you to just, when you design a worksheet, I think some of the students, they could not understand the content. So they try to just pick others. And at that time, they got like, oh, I don't want you to see my answer, something, but the low achieved student just really confused, and they want to know what's the answer or the answer of that. So I will recommend you, if you can give them worksheet A for the high achieved student and worksheet B for low achieved student, to like put some icon or check-in options for them to follow. I think your lesson will be perfect.
above all, that was my suggestion.
The type of your teaching, my suggestion to you is that maybe you can ask achievers to come over here to come on to the class and to show the low achievers how to do that step by step first, instead of asking the whole group to demonstrate it. I mean, the scaffolding is one very important approach to show students how to do that. Otherwise, the low achiever will just lost in class. Since most of you, two of you, four of you have a big class, so maybe high achiever is faster, it's going to move very fast. The slow learners will just get behind, getting lost and without what's going on. Maybe it's hard to slow down. It's kind of the Ministry of State Education. High achievers will know what to do next. Some of the medium learners or slow learners will just get lost. So why don't we just slow down and try to this to anyone say that you work collaborative working teamwork are going to really work with the group when you have to work more in order to get everyone involved. That's what you practice here. That's what you.
Okay, I'm Eric from Elementary School, and I have helped teacher Grayson's lesson. First of all, I have to tell you guys an interesting story. Before the class starts, a little tiny boy was at me with his eyes because I blocked his way to go get his seat, and he said about me. Take a bow. I feel very touching, and when the class starts, teacher Grayson sing a very adorable chant from his low his voice, the good morning song. You make the learning atmosphere very, very safe. And here comes tons of strengths. You use appropriate teaching strategy with scaffolding, and your students have engagement and differentiation from students of different. And I still love the way you try to teach your students how to follow paper plan. You didn't use PowerPoint. Each my student got confused. You will use some interesting and durable phrase like, "Hello, guys, you have to open it like a book." Or something like, "Make it look like a heart." Okay, and I'll make it like a nice. Okay, this is very good, and students can totally understand how to make people. And here's another suggestion. Let's go back to your lesson learning objectives. You try to have students understand how object move or we will object move or handle their movements. But I think the key point of this lesson, we try to teach the students how to operate experiments. But you can find that in the end of the class, students therefore to say what they have learned in this class. They only say, "Oh, I learned how to model a paper." Okay. So we expect more. We want to expect more. We want to students to say something that when I throw a plane with the wind, it goes far. Okay. Against the wind, it cannot fly very far. So in that case, we have to when we do the experiment, we have found the whole process. We have to first of the hypothesis, and you have to try to teach students how to throw their. Okay? Because some students they just throw like like that. Okay, and try to make a video how to count the views and the result, the here and the conclusion. The whole complete process you have to solve it to your students. And overall, the lesson is engaging and hands-on and integrated science with English niveau and a way. I really love your class. And maybe next time we can try to different level, something that we can change the shape of the plant. Okay, so students can understand, oh, because of the different shape, the dividends will different. Okay. Thank you.
Hi everyone, Vicky from Qingyu Elementary. After teaching Mandy's science, it was really nice. This class was well organized and clearly scheduled. So she allowed the students to follow step by step with confidence. And the use of real objects and visual support effectively helped the weaker learners. Group growth was assigned very clear as well, and every student get the chance to participate in every stage. And I also love the way when they check the state of the experiment, teacher asked one of the students from the team, remember it was number 4 in the team, come to the front, and then the others stay the state. Number 4 do the state. And then so everyone is participating and paying attention of each experiment stage so they can remember what to do later. There's also some suggestions, like when teacher Mandy is asking can an iron rod become magnetic? Teacher Mandy shows a picture with iron rod, battery, and paper plate. But because it's an experiment, but maybe we can change the picture into just only the iron rod with the battery, and we can make another picture of the paper plate inside. So it won't be shown like they already have the answer. It can attract the paper. Then the next suggestion is that when teacher Mindy shows the worksheet, she tried to make an example first before they write the worksheet. Maybe it would be better if the object that is not going to be in the experiment. For example, maybe you can put paper or eraser with an example and discuss can it be magnetic or not first. I know you want to really know how to do the worksheet. So maybe put one thing that is not going to be the experiment first, and then it will be like more surprised when they figure out the answer by themselves. And another one is that you may put the stakes on the board when the students are doing the experiment. It was really nice because the students can check the stakes and they can check their rows anytime when they forget what to do. It was really nice. But maybe next time we can change the sentences, the English sentences into pictures, so the weaker learners can understand what to do now quickly. The last one is do have time. So maybe next time we can let the students try 1 battery versus 2 batteries by themselves. Really great. Overall, I love the class, and I know how like when you want to make a science experiment, the students always be too excited. But I think teacher Mandy gave everyone something to do and attract their attention. So I think it was a very successful class. Thank you so much.
Very excellent. So I went to Xin Morning Teachers class. I enjoyed this class a lot. I was quite impressed by the wonderful say the passion for this class. She has a wonderful designs in class. In Samantha's class, she set up the class routines and asked you about the behaviors and warm-up activities and she has, she keeps students busy with a lot of work activities and seeing dancing, and that's wonderful. When students enjoy learning something fun, I think that's one of the successful elements in your class, especially in the school. Students can learn for fun. That's a great thing, not just for fun. You can keep students happy and smiling all the time in your class. They really like you and the class. No matter what they learn from the class, they just one more feeling start to live in your classroom. That's a successful class. Just one minor, maybe two. When you show in the middle part of the class, you show student story, right? The stories to move very fast with other pictures. Why don't you just stop the story with one pictures and then stop there and show students that picture with one sentence and then ask you to do something. And then before you move to the next one, otherwise they move very fast and people don't follow. And then of course, they come back with pictures. If you just move that story very fast, it's a waste of time doing that. But you just stop there. Instead of just going back to the story later. And the second one is about, I think the president, I still want to bring up this question about slow learners. Since you want to put a student in school, to keep them busy with those slow learners, then together with the fast learners. But still, I don't know how to do that. That's the question I want to go back to you. How will you deal with those slow learners? If some of the students, when you engage with some question, you can find that some students, even actually teachers here, some will never raise their hand to answer the question. Why don't you do that? Some students get along and they seem to be outsiders all the time throughout the whole class. What will you do with that? What can you do? Since you have a big class, it's a big size, 35 or 38 students, and always 3 to 5 students, whenever any student open their mouth, never raise their hand, they are, they don't know where they are, we don't know where they are. So what can you do with that? So one solution is that, of course, you just develop a group and you work together on some particular job. You are in charge of everything. That's one thing. Another thing is I want to talk to local teachers. When you're not co-teachers here, co-teachers are not supposed to stand over there. Just do some kind of translation once you don't follow the instructions. I don't like the local teachers stand there and just do some translations or help with some chores in the classroom. Why don't you just walk into the classroom? You stand beside not slow learners and help them with some work. When I want to just change into Chinese, I want to talk to local teachers in Chinese. 我们的本国老师，请你不要站在周里谁了，请你不要站在那边，就是外国老师讲话，听不懂，你用中文在那边翻译。我希望本国老师能够走入教室，站在那个学习比较广泛的学生旁边，帮他做一点事情。就是说，你既然有2个老师，本国老师不要站在那边没事做，因为你又加2个老师，你就站在他旁边，你看到3、4个学生都不想做的时候，或者他都没有举手的时候，你就站在他旁边， 然后跟他小声的讲，用简单的英文告诉他说：“哎，你应该这么做，应该怎么做。”就站他旁边，中讲中文都没关系，然后帮助他先就是陪伴他学习，因为你现在在那里啊，不是站在前面做翻译，好不好？不要做翻译，你是协助这些比较缓慢的学生学习。这个郭老师要做这个功能，这样跟老师。Again, for the phone teachers, present are going to help. So I don't know. I have no listening. I have no perfect solution to the part. But anyway, and another solution to present is that just a lot of teachers mentioned you ask the student why. Maybe they don't know why. If you ask me why, I don't know what to say. To answer your question, maybe give them some options. What you did this? Oh, when we ask the first graders, third graders, I don't think that high order maybe no one will be easier for them what, who, where, and what. Maybe when or when it will be easy it will be easy for them to answer the question. When you always apply the how, then give them some multiple choices question. Maybe this one or this one, yes or no. Question will be easy for them. I am quite surprised. You speak at, when you talk to students, similar way, you talk to them at a regular, not to serve, not simplify your language, but they can understand you quite well. Surprised their listening comprehensions. This is very training quite well. Thank you for doing wonderful job. We learn a lot from this. I think this wonderful morning, this wonderful community, we just which we learn a lot. I want to highlight the good points, the strength for teachers. We just learn the strengths and the wonderful sympathy from each teachers, and then try to ignore some minors parts in each class, no class perfect. Step by step, we just pick up our own way of teaching your class. Way all the teachings not appropriate in your class, you still can just adjust some of the teaching style to your own, and make the class really better. Comments or feedback, or maybe any response. We don't know. In this kind of the classroom, we don't want to be too picky or critical or judgmental. That's not the way we have some kind of feedback that we can learn from each other. Okay, so, anything you want to say to respond to some of the first? We have questions, not judgment. To see. You do this sometimes for some reason, right? Yes, someone rationale behind your curriculum designs. You want to see something about it? There's feedback. Give me some thoughts.
Question and the question before. The question about the worship. I will consider use two kinds of worship for the weaker learner and use more pictures, easily understand the meaning of the sentences, and also the experience steps. Yes, maybe you can show them a step first, and one by one to let them do one step first. And they can, for the weaker learner, they can more easily to understand. Okay, thank you.
For those who perused my lesson plan in the book, we went much faster and much farther through that than I expected or intended. And so actually, I kind of appreciate most of the suggestions. Most of the suggestions are from the latter portion of the class where I felt like I was improvising based on what I was planning to do next. As far as the question about how to help the lower language students, one of the techniques, I don't think I got to really showcase it in today's lesson, but I'm currently trying to learn as much Mandarin as I can so that I can simplify some of the English sentences into more literal translations, so that those students that are struggling, even if their English ability is so low, how I might say something or how I might put something in a PowerPoint, they might remember instead of I like that, which is how I would say that as a native English speaker. If I just put the words I like, that's something that a lot of even the lower students go, oh, I know. And again, in English, I would say, I know that, but something I definitely hear the students say very often when I ask a question and they all know is that, oh, I know the answer, or I know that, which is how I say it in English. They're going, oh, teacher, I know, teacher, I know. And so even just changing simple things like that is something I do work very hard on. Today, the focus was much more on the hands-on opportunity for them to make the airplane, grow the airplane. But I really appreciate the suggestions and feedback from all of you.
Hello, everyone. I'm still nervous, even though. Sorry. Well, I think the class went well. I think so because the students have had fun with the lesson. Most of them raised their hands, and especially those slow learners, they were able to answer because their teammates also gave them like translation at the same time, gave them answers. So each group were like helping one another. And I just want to share the idea of Super Mario. I use Super Mario because we used to play games like the ones I showed where they had to dodge, to duck, so that they won't get hit by the big rock. So it's like in relation to the topic of let's be safe on the road. So it's like them as Super Mario, they have to be careful not to be hit by cars on the road. They have to so that's why I had the concept of Super Mario. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Wendy, and thank you for all the suggestions and feedback to me, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
好，我想今天的那课呢，大概也到了尾声啊。先我还是要再一次的感谢所有参与的学校，给我们非常多的回馈。那我想我们也会带着这样的一个努力，让我们的双语课程更经济、更加的贴近学生的学习。那再来呢，我要感谢陈光明教授，今天花了一个早上时间陪伴大家，让我们在课程上面有更坚定的一些发展。那感谢洪梅英校长啊，他真的是很茫然啊，但是他每一场公开课他一定都到啊，所以我谢谢他。那感谢单位推手老师啊，老师的课程也许非常的活泼，非常的有趣，但是我们还是要聚焦在学生的学习效果上到底有没有成效。这个三位推手老师是给老师非常重要的一个建议啊。那因为待会学校有办法，所以如果可以的话，各位老师您有需要留在学校用餐，可能要1点多以后才能离开学校。如果您急着回学校办公，还有后面有事处理的话，我们有准备午餐。那大家领了餐点之后呢，可以这个从容的离开学校。然后再一次代表迎新国小，谢谢大家，谢谢。
那非常感谢今天与会的一个来宾。那这次这次。